Okay, so this is the exercise we're going to do. That's just kind of the framing of it, but here's the exercise. 5 levels of your ideal client. I'm going to have you do some reflecting on what this is for you. And this is so dope. I came up with this myself. I'm so proud of it. And this is, I've worked with so many people on their niche, and the pattern I saw was people put the emphasis on all the wrong places, thinking they're being clear, and they weren't. And this will help. Okay, so the bullseye, it's either the boat or it's the journey, I guess, from A to B. It's like, what's the issue they're struggling with, or what's the specific thing they're buying? This is the bullseye, and this is 10,000 points. So this is almost all of it, yeah? 10,000 points. And that's everything I was just talking about. Perfect moment, perfect promise. That's the bullseye. One step out here, this ring, these are the musts. And the musts are 1,000 points. Now, musts are, so again, talking about is it a fit, this becomes one of the key things. It's not always so present. There might just be one. Maybe you don't have any. But it's usually issues of time, money, or materials. For example, I'm gonna come to my horseback riding classes. You must have a horse and saddle and everything to bring. Come to my karate class, but you need your own gear and whatever. I knew a woman. Anyway, somebody was teaching kayaking classes, and they said you need to bring your own kayak. So sometimes you might have that. We're going to do this thing, but you need to provide these materials. During an herbalism class, you got to bring your own jars or oil or alcohols or whatever. Or it could be an online course. Here's the online course, but these are the materials you'll need to make this work. Number 2 might be time. Here's how much time you need to put in with the sessions and in between sessions. This is the kind of homework we're looking for. And if you're not willing to do that, don't sign up, because you're not going to get much from it. It's really important to get clear about that, because there's your side of the bargain, the boat, what do you offer? But there's also their side of the bargain. And if they're not going to do their side, it's probably, you can't make the promise, can you? So it might be, look, we're going to do our sessions once a week, and I need you to commit to 5 hours of working on this. That will include some reading, some journaling. And if you're not willing to do the 5 hours, it's just come back when you're serious. This isn't a fit right now. So it could be time, and it could be money. There's going to be a budget. You're going to need to buy things, or this is the cost of the thing. These are just the musts. And if you can't do these things at this moment, it's not a fit. Good to think through what those are. Again, they're often just logistical in nature. That's 1,000 points. Why? Because it's just great. You have this issue, but you don't have the. You're not ready to do the time. You can't afford the things. You don't have the material. Like, not yet. It's not quite you're not quite ready for it. Then there are, on this one, these are the psychographics. Psychographics, these are 100 points. So you notice it's 10 times less important every time. It doesn't mean not important. I mean, it's still 100 points. That's quite a few points. But the psychographics, these are the inner things about people, people's identities, the communities people belong to. Vegan, being in a vegan restaurant here, that's a psychographic. I can't tell it just by looking at you from the outside. There might be some signs. I mean, there's the old joke, how do you know the vegan at the party? Oh, they'll let you know. Did you hear about the vegan CrossFitter? Couldn't figure out which to talk about first at the party. Anyways, but vegan is a psychographic, or religion, any of that. Christian is a psychographic. Capitalist, communist, Psytrance fan, Grateful Dead, the Deadheads. Do you know how many Grateful Dead fans it takes to change a light bulb? None. They just let it burn out and follow it around for 20 years. I joke. I'm a hippie. I'm allowed to make jokes about other hippies. Anyways, but you see what I'm saying? That's a psychographic, meaning it's a community you're a part of. People would identify strongly. And this matters because another ring out, you've got the demographics. And these are the external things. These are things I could just from the outside look at you and tell you about. I could make a guess at least, or I could research your ethnic background, age, income, profession, habits. All of those are externally verifiable. I can tell that just by looking at you. And that's only 10 points though. So compare that to the boat or the journey, the center thing, 10,000 versus 10. And a lot of people lean very heavily, they think they've got their ideal client nailed. So I work with black males ages 40 to 50 who make $60,000 to $70,000 a year living in the greater Seattle area. Everything I just said, that's a demographic. But do they all hang out together? You think they've got a club? The black males ages 40 to 50 living in Seattle, like, oh, we're finally here. Oh, you're 51. You're out of the group, Like, obviously not. But do people get together because they're vegan? Do people get together because they eat a carnivore diet? Do they get together because they're all of that? That's a much bigger deal. When we're looking for hubs, psychographics, you can lean very heavy on the psychographics and find amazing hubs. And then the last one, you could imagine how many points that'll be. 1 point are the qualities. That's just 1 point. Qualities are just the adjectives. And I see people also, they get very excited about their target market. They think they've nailed it because it's like, these are people ready to do the work. Yeah, these are people who are stressed, or it's a bit so generic, or they're nice, they're kind, they have a good sense of humor, they're open-minded. Is 1 point. I'm not saying don't have it. That's still a point. But it's not this. The qualities also, they tend not to be aware of. The psychographics they are absolutely aware of. Qualities that they probably don't label themselves like that. Hey, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm a kind, open-minded person. We don't tend to do this. Any questions about these levels? Yeah.
Could you say a bit more about qualities?
Quality, it's people lean on the qualities as in they say, well, who do you want to work with? Who's your ideal client? I like to work with people who are open-minded. I like to work with generous people. I like to work with people, but you see what I'm saying? It's like I'm saying something about your character. Maybe that's the way to say it. The nature of the person. But not everybody with those qualities is struggling with this issue, has any of the musts, is aligned with your values and world. And the psychographics, this plays a big role in fit. Imagine you got some health issue, and a friend says you've got to go to this healer. They're amazing. And let's just imagine you're a fundamentalist Christian. And you go to this healer and they've got a pentagram on the wall. Before we begin, we'd like to make a blood offering to the goddess Hecate. It's not a fit. Or vice versa. You're a witch and you show up and it's like, please put your hand on the Bible. Psst, it burns.
I spend most of my time saying, I just add it to the list for confession.
Yes, yeah. So it's just not a fit. Two different psychographics. Sometimes even your political views, that's a psychographic. You show up and somebody's they're wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And it's like, okay, maybe that's a fit, maybe it's not, but you see, that can determine it. Oh, you are helping me with the problem? Yes, that is 100% relevant. I have all the musts, but you support that man, so I can't. Or you don't support that man, or whoever. You get the idea. Okay, any other questions about that?
Do you mind giving an example of like the ideal client as a whole, using all of the things?
Okay, yeah, I could do it maybe with mine. Okay, so the issue is, how do I market in a way that feels good? That's ethical but also effective. That might be the core issue. People come, and they're wanting more clients. They're wanting to grow their business, build a sustainable, resilient business, but in a way that they can sleep at night. That might be one way to say that. The musts, well, you got to have a business. You Yeah, need to be. It's interesting. Some of this will hinge on the particular offer, but you got to be willing to spend some time learning about marketing. The more you invest, the faster. So I don't know if I have any musts. That may be dependent on, for this offering, here's the must. I'm trying to think what the must would be generally for me. I'm thinking about doing an apprenticeship, working with business coaches, teaching them how I do what I do and this kind of stuff. And for that, I would probably I need this many hours a week of homework. Or with my semesters and the membership, I say 5 hours a week, including the calls that we do. I need you to have, there's 2 hours for the call plus 3 hours of homework. Yeah. Then psychographics, hippies, But the psychographics, it's on my website. But I have a page that's an ideal client page, Are We a Fit page? And that goes in mostly psychographics. Like, do we value the same things? Are you concerned about this insane technocratic globalization that's happening everywhere? Do you value Indigenous people? Do you like these authors? That's a great question, by the way, to get to the psychographics. Who are their favorite authors? Like, if you went into their home and you looked at their bookshelf, what are the books that you would see and you'd say, we're gonna get along great if you love this book? That's an easy one. Or just, what else do they have in there? Oh, you have a Berkey water filter. Okay. Oh, Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. Okay, or you got a Vitamix. Now whatever. Sometimes
kitchen.
The what?
Maybe in my kitchen.
And demographics, tends to be women, middle-aged white women. That tends to be the demographic generally. And you can see this room. Look around. That's the demographics. And the qualities, don't lean on that very heavy. People who value compassion, people who are kind, that one I don't even think about that much. Does that help? Yeah. Any other questions about this? Okay, great. So it's over to you. So 15 minutes. And I just want you to see what you can come up with. And by the way, let this be shitty. Just dramatically lower your standards at this moment. Underwhelm yourself as you do this exercise. Just a shitty first draft, really. That's all that's needed here. You're not trying to, you'll get a chance to share it with other people and you get to be inspired by them. But for now, just a shitty first draft will do. Over to you. 15 minutes.